Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome to a brand new season of F1 2020 Subscriber Championship. We're here for season number 2. This is round number 1 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And hopefully you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you do, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. Like I said in the previous video, there is still 64.8% of you that are not yet subscribed to the channel. And you're watching, so subscribe. But as you can see, we're on the grid now. We've got random grids for this season, so we don't know where we're starting. So for this race, we're starting in P9. Let's get straight into it then. We've got 5 red lights here for the Season 2, and it's lights out, and away we go then for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Good start from us, actually, in the McLaren now, as we make our way down in towards the first corner here, getting squeezed onto the grass there by one of the Alfa Romeos, as we take a wide line now in towards the first corner here, trying to avoid getting spun around like we did last time around. I nearly said last year there, and we get through absolutely fine now as we make our way down towards turn 4 here. We've got Con in front of us now as we're going to go down the inside of him in towards turn 4, and we do just that. A lovely move there. He's still on the inside, the outside though, but eventually we get the exit and we're through up into 6th place now in this race. But as you can see, for this season we're racing in the McLaren. I'm racing alongside Sam, but unfortunately Sam was vaccinated the day before this race, and his arm was no longer functioning, which is kind of normal really for him, but he just doesn't want to admit it. Anyway, moving on now to the race, and not with my teammates here. We're up into 6th place. We started in P9. Like I said, we've got random grids for this entire season, so no one knows where they're starting in any single Grand Prix. It's just going to completely mix up the grid, and the front runners, if they're starting from the front, hey-ho. However, you know, there could be some front runners at the back, some slightly slower runners at the front, and it just allows for everyone to get a little bit of action, get a bit of racing in there. So I think it's cool and it mixes it up. But as you can see here now, we're up into 5th place actually. I think someone's had an issue with their internet connection, and we've made up a place there. So that's kind of cool. As Tominator there gets down the inside of DHL into the last corner there, that actually puts him off, and that gives me the better run then at the end of the first lap. Up into 4th place now. 5 places gained on the end of the first lap now as we breeze down in towards turn 1 here. Tominator trying to have a look down the inside of Zombie into turn 1, but all he's done is actually opened up the outside for me to have a go. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there on the exit, but now as we make our way up towards turn 4, this is where we can try and gain some places here. Callisto already 3 seconds clear, so one of the fastest drivers from last year's I said last year's, there we go. From last season's Subscriber Championship, got pole position in the random grid selection, and he is going to be just loving life right now. There's a little bit of a back end slide there. Had a little look down the inside on Tominator, but Tominator had other thoughts and tried to go down the inside of Zombie here. Of course, Tominator actually new to Subscriber Championship. Quite a lot of new races actually, as he tries to go for a bold move here down the inside in towards turn 10. Zombie tries to fight this one off. He goes wide onto the exit there. That allows us to run now on Tominator, and he's got a great, not really using much of his ERS now. We'll have to go around the outside in towards this middle sector now, swooping around the outside, holding it in there. Tominator though still fights this one now. We're going to go side by side up towards this section here, but we've got onto the curb. The car's spun around here. We've been hit by DHL in the process. We've got front wing damage from all of that. A colossal error there from my behalf, and the safety car has been deployed from all of that. And yeah, that was very, very poor, unfortunately. And all of our hard work was done and, well, run and done from that point onwards. We'll get a replay of it in a minute, but unfortunately that high-speed right-hander, it's an auto-spin curb, and I knew that, and it was just close wheel-to-wheel racing, and to be honest, I was too busy focusing on not trying to hit Tominator. I was too busy making sure that I was leaving him enough room. In theory, because of how close I was to the inside, I probably could have just forced him a little bit wider. There was enough room to do that, but, you know, Tominator's entitled to keep his line. He's left me a car's width, so he doesn't necessarily need to leave me anymore. Here's a replay of it, but as you can see here, going up towards the corner, you can see he's left plenty of space. Now, initially, Zombie actually hit me there, and it didn't actually damage my front wing. What I got hit by was DHL, who, in fairness, he was just trying to avoid the accident. It was, you know, like I said, no one was at fault. The only person that was at fault for that spin was me. I tried to go for the move down the inside. It was definitely on, but like I said, my concentration was on Tominator, and I completely disregarded the fact that that curb goes ahead and spins you round here. And yeah, that cost us, unfortunately, dearly, really. So my apologies obviously to Zombie and to DHL. They were both just trying to avoid me. I didn't ghost for Zombie, which like he hit me. And he got front wing damage, and then obviously DHL guy, F1 guy, sorry, hit me, and then that's where I got my damage from. Otherwise, I would have come out from that completely unscathed. But we actually came into the pits, and the game automatically switched us to the hard compound tyres, which I didn't want. So I had to come in again as the back end slides as we tried to get the restart underway there. I didn't want hard compound tyres, so I came in and boxed and went onto the medium compound tyres to get onto the tyre compound that I wanted. And now we can go to the end. But crucially, there's a lot of drivers that have obviously come into the pits, but there's a lot of drivers that didn't actually make a pit stop. As Tong there tried to go down the inside of us into towards turn 1, he didn't actually want to go for that move. He was happy to just follow me around, which was absolutely fine. Spinner there, though, from one of the Williams cars. Then we've got one of the Red Bulls to get through there. So that's a little bit of a couple of places there out of the way now. As we try and go around the outside here of line in towards turn 4. That's very reminiscent of what Lando Norris did to Alex Albon back in 2019. Or, no, 2020 it would have been. I can't remember. He did it and he mugged off Albon and it was funny. Next up now is going to be Drew, but unfortunately we're not going to get past him because it looks like we've got a NASCAR sprint race going on here with the amount of people going 3 wide in towards turn 10. And I can tell you what, I'm going to definitely take my time here because there's so many cars now trying to find positions there. One of the Williams drivers again has spun around. That was ghosted actually. There was a ghosted Williams car there. Now we've got Drew who's trying to overtake Soda. Soda going into the hard compound tyres. So he actually stuck with those. I decided to re-pit and just get off the tyres, and that's a very close shave there between myself and Soda. Absolutely fair enough. Very, very harsh and aggressive, but there's nothing wrong with what he did there. Very adamant, that's the word, to keep his place there, but we get a fantastic exit as, okay, that was a little bit over the top, okay? We made the move and we got through, just moved over onto our line there. Luckily, we took no damage. One reduced damage. It was the same as it was in last season as Drew there getting past Morgan, who's got a 5-second time penalty. Don't know what for, but he has a 5-second time penalty. And that means that we're now going to attack Drew here. Not going to go for, well, I'm going to go for into turn 1, but I'm not going to use all my ERS. I probably could have done so and actually made the move stick here as we now go around the outside here in towards turn 1. That's going to go in towards 2 and 3. Doesn't work for us, but Drew actually goes off the circuit to try and maintain position there. And that just allows us to get a free run up and towards turn 4 here. We've got the move done. Round the outside now in towards turn 4. And that's, yeah. Well, that's fun, isn't it? We've been taken out there, quite frankly. Wonderful. So all that hard work that we've just done, wasted, because we have just had our race completely ruined. But we're just going to go on with it. It is what it is. Yeah, whatever. Moving on, we're going to get past Morgan for the second time in this Grand Prix now and setting a new personal best of the race. Opening up the DRS there, you can see blasting down the straight now. Next up the road is Constant Soda. Yes, I was very, very annoyed at that point. I'd made my way up the field really nicely, really happy with the pace. And yeah, I felt like I'd pretty much just, at that point, as soon as I would have got around the outside, I felt like I would have redeemed myself after my own spin and was in a very good position to maybe win the race. But nonetheless, we're now out of the points again, but we get another great exit here on Soda, who does that same shimmy to the inside there, but this time around I was all the wiser to what he was going to do. I knew he was going to make that type of move, and either A, you do what I did in the first round, which is where you just hit the back of him, or B, you just anticipate that he was going to do that, and that's exactly what I did here. Next up is going to be Madman then in P9, who gets a pretty bad exit through there, and that's going to allow us to get the run now down in towards the last corner here. You can see that we're just in the 1 second window between myself and Zombie, so no matter what, both myself and Madman are going to get the DRS here. He tries to go for the switchback line, but again, I was all the more wiser to that one, and I made sure that I got a great exit and blast down the straight here. Got DRS, he's also got DRS, but crucially, I can just use all of my straight line speed as well, and as we go in towards turn 1, I'll leave him the outside line, but I can just make sure that he won't get any run through there, and he doesn't. Next up the road is Wavy Knife, and I mean, we've got DRS up towards turn 4, so we might as well use it, and that's exactly what we're going to do here, using our rich mixture. Wavy Knife goes defensive towards the inside of the turn 4, allows me to go around the outside. This time around, though, we're able to overtake a Red Bull around the outside of turn 4 with no problems, and despite the fact that we had spun, or not we had spun, despite the fact we got wiped out in towards turn 4, we're right on the back of Hazard and Zombie again. Of course, the next driver that we needed to overtake would have been Hazard in all of that. We've got a yellow flag though here for one of the Mercedes cars. I think it's Pure Bell here that's had a little bit of a problem, and now in towards this high-speed section of the circuit, you can see it's getting a little bit slow as Bell there has got some damage to his front wing. Zombie now goes side by side through here. This time I have the outside line. Zombie has that inside line, and that was really close between the pair of us there. Zombie was definitely going to give me the place. We were chatting at the time, and he was definitely going to give me the place. It was just a case of let me know when you're going to overtake me, and I can move out of the way. I wasn't anticipating on doing it there. It just ended up happening, but luckily both of us all the more wiser to all the situations, and we got through. Lap 11 of the Grand Prix now, heading on to lap 12. Hazard gets very wide here on the exit. Great strategy from him, actually. He went for the hard compound tyres, and Hazard, as we know in Season 1, he was my teammate, of course, is a very, very solid and quick driver. But on this occasion, we just have more pace here around Bahrain. 3.2 seconds behind Tong, and then 4-5 seconds now behind DHL F1 guy. So despite him smacking into me, he's in the lead of this race, and I was double checking to make sure he had pitted in this race. He had. And on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. There was nothing more I could do. We had a couple of laps to try and close the gap down. I mean, we did. We halved the gap to myself, a DHL F1 guy, but across the line, he's going to win Subscriber Championship round number 1 here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Tong comes through in second place, and we're going to finish in third. A brilliant recovery drive, considering all the calamitous dramas that we had here. That's really close there between the two Ferraris of Zombie and Callisto, finishing just 7/100ths of a second apart there at the checkered flag. But yeah, we definitely had the pace to win it, but through a fault of my own, and one that was not a fault of my own, it didn't happen. But nonetheless, though, we still got a podium, and we still managed to have some good racing with 99.9% of the field in all of that there. So you just have to take it. You can move on. And like I said, it's not a competitive league, so I genuinely couldn't care less. We got driver of the day though, so let me know in the comment section down below if I should just give myself 5 points for driver of the day. I'm joking. I'm not going to give myself points for driver of the day. But yeah, as you can see then, there is our podium set there. Congratulations though to DHL F1 guy. Like I said, it was my fault that he had to hit into the side of me. In theory, I should have ghosted for both of them. I've turned ghosting on. So in theory, I should have ghosted for Zombie and for DHL guy. And we shouldn't really have had a safety car. It should have just been me spun really far back down the order. And that was that. Unfortunately, that was not the case. But yeah, I mean, he made his pit stop and he managed to come through and he managed to win. For us, though, like I said, it was a P3, a very, very fun recovery drive. Lots of overtaking to get done, and we had good pace, which was good to see in there as well. And we'll have a look now in just a second. You can see here that despite that, you know, we still finished only 2.5 seconds behind Tong and DHL guy there. Honestly, we were very, very quick, but it is what it is. Con there gets the fastest lap of the race. I think he probably pitted for a set of soft tyres at the end, to be honest. But there is your top 10 there. Hazard finishing in 4th. Zombie, Callisto, Wave Knife, Constant Soda, Protominator, and XLR Lion. There we go. I went through all of that just before the thing cut there. And that is our top 10. What we're going to do, though, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship, see where everyone stands then. So, obviously, the top 10 is as it is. No one gains any extra points or anything like that. Obviously, Con did get the fastest lap of the race, but unfortunately, there are no bonuses for being outside of the top 10 and getting the fastest lap, so it doesn't count. But obviously, DHL F1 guy leads the championship with 25 points. Tong in 2nd, we're in 3rd, Hazard 4th, Zombie 5th, Callisto 6th, Wave Knife 7th, Constant 8th, Dominator 9th, Lion 10th. That was pretty cool. Constructors' Championship, though, as you can see, AlphaTauri lead the way with their 25 points that they gained. Ferrari are on 18 points and 2nd in the championship, ahead of Renault, who are 3rd, also on 18 points. Of course, Tong getting that P2, and then Zombie and Callisto proving to be the strongest team lineup in that race, and they're definitely going to be a lineup to watch out for, definitely this season. Aston and McLaren were P4. Obviously, it was only me that was racing today, so we obviously got the 15 points. Sam, of course, was unable to participate, and see him there with 0 points. But obviously, as we know from last season, Sam scored points in every single race. So I'm pretty sure when he's back, he has to score a point. It's mandatory. Williams are next with 12 points, thanks to Hazard. Again, getting P4, doing a great job for his team. Then it's Red Bull in 6th. Red Bull are next with 6 points. Then we've got Racing Point with 4. Haas have got 2 points. And then Mercedes picking up the sole point. And then Alfa Romeo, unfortunately, didn't score any points. But guys, if you have enjoyed today's episode of Subscriber Championship, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. And we will see you guys for the next race, which will be randomized. So no one's going to know what it is until it gets randomized when everyone's in the lobby. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.